Now, 3 U.S. presidents, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush and Barack Obama, have left footprints in Africa that could very well turn around the fortunes of the continent. Now, you may want to know what agenda each of them had for Africa and how Kenya specifically stands to benefit from the policies. Our special correspondent, Alex Chamwada, is next with that analysis. Take a look.
Actually, I just see deepening of partnerships that already existed.
I want to build on what's already been done, and then we want to fill gaps that still need to be filled.
Building on what has already been done is the issue here, and when it comes to tracing the footprints of U.S. presidents in Africa, analysts say the real picture begins with Bill Clinton, who was in power for 2 terms from 20th January 1993 to 20th January 2001.
Clinton was normally called the first black president of the United States of America. This was coined because his policies were the first as a president to focus a little more on Africa than his predecessors.
Clinton set the pace for the African Growth and Opportunity Act to open the U.S. market for certain products tariff-free. This has been subsequently carried forward by the presidents who came after him.
Unfortunately for Africa, it has been mainly the oil-producing countries like Angola and Nigeria, because oil was one of those commodities which could be taken to the U.S. free, tariff-free, duty-free. So those countries have benefited. Kenya has only benefited from the point of view of textile apparel.
AGOA could have a trickle-down effect in terms of job creation and transforming lives, but
we as Kenyans did not even have an AGOA strategy.
The good news for Kenya is that Bill Clinton's AGOA legacy lives on.
Now that we've renewed the African Growth and Opportunity Act, or AGOA, for another 10 years.
There's leather, there is mainly agricultural commodities, save coffee, but things like processed fish, then there's also the horticulture, which is both fruits and vegetables. So the fruits and vegetables, the reason has been that there has not been what we call the sanitary, phytosanitary inspection rules that meet the U.S. standards. Now that has now been put in place, and through KEFIs and the other institutions, I think we will now have more fruits, vegetables and other agricultural commodities being allowed into the U.S. market.
How about George W. Bush? What was he known for?
Initiative which, well translated in layman's language, he mostly focused on HIV through what we now call the U.S. Presidential Emergency Fund for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR.
It saved millions of lives, which is why I've increased funding substantially for PEPFAR during the course of my presidency and continue to build on what was initially a matter of just getting antivirals and treatment for HIV, and are now building greater capacity within those countries that have received PEPFAR funding.
Still on the policy list of George W. Bush is the Millennium Challenge account.
It established this goal to actually channel very big funds to the countries that met their goals, and one of the areas that was really focused on was infrastructure. And he tied this to what we call the governance issues. As Kenya, we never benefited because we didn't meet the threshold.
On his part, President Obama believed that the world needed more entrepreneurs away from dependency on humanitarian aid. First, he is known for Feed the Future, an initiative that targeted improving food security and agribusiness.
We've got millions of farmers across this continent who, as we speak, have benefited from increased yields, increased incomes, greater access to small loans that are making them more productive, greater access to market, linking up with technology in ways that assure that they get a fair price, all of which, since Africa is still disproportionately rural, is increasing incomes and spurring growth and building a middle class in the entire continent.
When it comes to Obama's trade initiative, the Global Entrepreneurship Summit stands out as an avenue through which Africa could reap the benefits of global business. It was launched in 2009. Also key to Africa's development is the Power Africa initiative.
Power Africa and Trade Africa go together.
Regarding the Power Africa project, this is the view of an ordinary Tanzanian.
Huu ni mwaka nadhani wa pili tangu amekuja Rais Obama. Mimi kwa upande wangu sijaona sana. Ukisema habari za umeme, kila siku hapo nzio tuko na generator. Kila siku karibu, yani siku nzima ikipita generator haijanguruma ni bahati nasibu.
The next time somebody's interested in how electricity gets generated, go back home and find out how long it takes to build a power plant. I mean, sometimes these are long-term projects, but we have billions of dollars of transactions already locked in.
On President Obama's legacy, you also find initiatives aimed at equipping the youth with leadership skills apart from entrepreneurial skills.
To date, through agencies like Masico, we have reached about 1.5 million young people, organized around 8,500 youth bunges, where they can be able to articulate what they want, reach out to leadership, and talk about their needs without resorting to violence. We've had exchange programs to the US and to other countries with these young people. We've built the leadership capacity, we've built the economic capacity through what we call circles. They have started around 23 circles funded by the US government.
So this, I think, will be the key legacy that President Obama will be remembered for on this continent for a long time to come.
However, analysts say for Kenyans to benefit from the various initiatives by US presidents, it has to tackle corruption, negative ethnicity, improve security and infrastructure, and build institutions that are key to entrepreneurship. So every US president with their own agenda for Africa. Former President Bill Clinton, known for AGOA. George W. Bush, known for the fight against HIV/AIDS, and now Barack Obama, known for trade, Power Africa, and Feed the Future. But the question is, how prepared is Kenya to move forward the agenda? For KTN News, I'm Alex Chamwada.